All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Dewpoint on this rainy day. I'm sure the Cape Townians wish it was raining as much as it is up here. Sorry to the Cape Townians. So welcome to Dewpoint. My name's Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here at Dewpoint. I'm going to be spending the next certainly about 55 minutes that the presentation takes. We're going to be discussing what this business is all about, what the opportunity is all about. Welcome to everyone who's tuned in on our live stream around the country. All right, so after the presentation's done, you're welcome to come speak to me, ask me any questions that you might have. We've got some client service staff here. They can attend to any administration queries that you have. Okay, so let's begin. As you can see, Dewpoint is a division of Constantia Insurance Company Limited. Constantia is a registered insurance company in South Africa. We've been around since 1952, so nearly 7 decades, a very long time. We don't share offices with our principals, with Constantia. They're down the road in Randburg. That's the branding that they use. The FSP number that we operate is that one over there. It's very important. You'll notice in the foyer above our water cooler, just outside, we've got all our Financial Services Board licenses on display. That's our stamp of credibility. So we've got a long and short-term insurance license, we've got an investment license, we've got our Financial Services Provider license, and then we've also put up our accreditation with the Direct Marketing and the Direct Selling Associations. So we trust that you need to find the business that we're going to be speaking about this morning credible. So go take a look at those. You can do a background check on us. We actually listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange under a group called Conduit Capital. So go do all the checking that you need to check to trust the business that we're going to be discussing. These are the managers and executives up on screen. The first 3 individuals on the far left are all registered chartered accountants. Starting with Mr. Benfield, he's our senior executive. He's got a lot of experience in financial services, particularly in insurance, because his family have been involved in insurance his entire life. His father's been involved in insurance for 50 years. His father's actually a professor of insurance. He taught at Wits for 25 years. His father founded Clientele Life, I think in the late 80s. His father founded the IFA. Brendan and his brother Stuart, along with their father, founded Prime Meridian Direct. So you can see they've had a lot of success in the financial space. They've opened businesses up globally, so very experienced in financial services. So we're very lucky to have Brendan heading up this division. Tim and Stacey, they look after the auditing and the financial aspects of our business. Fairly important, but boring. They wanted to become accountants. No one forced them, right? But Tim is very experienced in corporate banking. He was with the First Rand Group for about 15 years, fairly senior position there. He reported directly to the CEO and the board of directors. Stacey worked in auditing all her career with Deloitte. She worked here as well as overseas in Luxembourg in Europe. So those are the poor, boring accountants. Then myself and Jane, the more interesting people who aren't accountants. Jane is actually from the UK. And she brings network marketing or referral marketing experience to our business, because even though we're an insurance company, our growth is very much predicated on our ability to work in the network marketing space. And Jane brings that very important international experience to our business. And then I've been working in marketing and advertising for over 20 years. I ran my own digital agency for 15 of those years. Seems like a very long time. But that's the team. We've got client support staff, we've got some admin staff, but the mandate to staff of Dewpoint is to support everybody that joins us in this business. So we want to see you as effective and as profitable as possible in this business, because we can only be profitable if you guys are being effective. And so we do everything to support you in that endeavor. So that's a bit of background on the business and the people here in the business. I'm briefly going to go over the circumstance that we find ourselves in. So you can see it's a fairly negative slide, right? It starts with that 4-letter word that you see up on the screen, the one that everybody loves so much. We love that word, don't we? Because we have so much of it in our lives, right? All kinds. Comes in all kinds of forms. So when we look at the economic, you can call it environment or climate circumstance that we find ourselves in South Africa, it has led you here today. On a Saturday morning, you've decided to come to a business presentation instead of staying at home, maybe still under the duvet, telling the kids to bring you some coffee or tea. And these are really driving factors. So debt has certainly become a driving factor that pushes people to look at entrepreneurial activity, because what's happening in the larger, in the macroeconomic climate, is that our salaries aren't keeping up with the cost of living at the moment, and hasn't been doing that for the last few years. You'll know that, because at the end of every month you'll think, these damn groceries are getting so expensive. How am I not keeping up every month, right? And that's because the cost of living, inflation, is running away from what your salary is. So you can ask yourself the question. So the inflation over the last 6-7 years has gone from about 7% down to 5%. Have you gotten a 7 to 5 or 5 to 7% increase in your salary for the last 7 years running? No, right? Not many of us get a raise that's in line with inflation. And so what's happening is there's this gap that's starting to form between cost of living and your salary, and unfortunately we make the mistake of trying to remedy the situation with debt. And what that does is it actually proliferates. I can't even say it anymore. Proliferates. It's very early on Saturday. I haven't had my coffee yet. It proliferates our situation, our economic situation. It makes it worse, and that really comes to a head when we get to retirement, because what happens is if you find yourself in this debt cycle that you're unable to get out of, it comes to a head when you get to retirement, because what has to happen over the 45 years that you are working for somebody else, you need to be placing yourself in a position where you are saving or investing constantly. Because when you get to retirement, you're going to ask yourself the question, what have I done in the last 45 years? You're going to look at your investment that you made, your retirement plan, your pension fund, and that is going to pay you out for the next 30 years, right? Unfortunately, the statistics that we get that paint a picture of personal finance for the majority of us shows that a tiny percentage of people get to retirement financially independent. The rest of us, we become financially dependent. You retire and you're forced to go find another job. You're forced to downscale your lifestyle to such a degree that you can afford to get by on whatever you've done with regards to your financial arrangements around retirement. You become dependent on children and on family members to get by. And really what this presentation is about changing that circumstance. For the majority of us, we want to change that, right? So out of all of this negativity as a business, we saw an opportunity to create a platform that the average South African can engage in to create income for themselves. So we call it the DuePoint system. It was launched almost 2 years ago, so in February we'll be 2 years old, our little division. And what it really does is creates opportunity for the average South African to engage in the DuePoint system by introducing people to us. And what happens is our online platform then facilitates the sale of product to people, right? And you get to create additional income for yourselves. But money is only a means to an end, right? So we've got these aspirations, the end in mind for the people in this business. The first aspiration is to see people in this business become debt-free. Completely debt-free. I think Brendan quoted the other day, he said the average debt for the South African is something like 280,000 Rand. Right? That's the average debt for every single person in South Africa. So we want to see people in this business aspire to becoming debt-free. And I like to think, what does debt-free actually feel like? Can I tell you what it feels like? Because it's very appropriate. We're at the end of the month. Did everyone get their salaries on Friday? Yesterday or the day before, you got the little SMS that said your salary's been paid into your bank account, right? Did you get that little SMS? And then you were excited for about 5 minutes, right? Because then you got 20 SMSs after that SMS. What were the 20 SMSs you got after the salary SMS? Debit orders. How does the bank know when that money arrives in your account? Those debit orders, they just go like that, right? So now imagine being debt-free, completely debt-free. You've joined this business that's empowered you, that's allowed you to create an additional income stream. So you get 2 SMSs at the end of the month. The one SMS says you got paid by your employer, and you get another SMS. We pay people on around the 19th, the 20th of the month. So on the 20th it says DuePoint's paid you a return, and then there's silence. Don't do anything. You don't want to upset anything, right? That's what debt-free feels like. When all the money that goes into your account stays in your account. When you're one of the parents, I'm a parent of now 2 kids, and who loves the price of school fees nowadays? So you can be one of those parents. Have you seen on the application form at the beginning of the year at your school, there's a checkbox that says pay 1 year in advance, where you get to pay the whole year. Wouldn't you like to be one of those parents that pay the whole year, right? That's what debt-free feels like. When you're able to empower yourself, when the money that arrives in your account stays in your account until you decide what to do with it, right? So that's our first aspiration. The second aspiration is for people to create wealth, and that's really the ultimate goal in this business. Our goal in this business is to create wealth. But we have the first aspiration to become debt-free, because that's very important. You can't create wealth if you owe other people money constantly. So the second aspiration is to create wealth. We create wealth through the ownership of assets, through creating investments that appreciate, right? And then the third aspiration happens on its own, because if you're debt-free and you only get 2 SMSs at the end of the month, right, and you're starting to create wealth in your life, and you can look forward to your retirement, the third aspiration is just about being happier. Just about being happier, not being stressed at the end of the month, stressed in January, stressed when you see school fees, stressed when you realize how much groceries are costing every month. So those are 3 aspirations. You can align yourselves with those aspirations, or you don't have to. That's completely up to you. But that's what we have in mind for the people in this business. That's what kind of excites us. So as I said, this business is very simple. Our guests here this morning, you have the opportunity to join DuePoint. You contract with us. And once you've come into this contract with us, we call you wealth engineers. And as wealth engineers, you only have to do one thing, and that's basically just to introduce people to DuePoint. You're just connecting people to this business opportunity. And when you're successful in that, and our online platform is successful in placing product, our online platform facilitates the sale of product to these people that you introduce to us. That is how you build your business at DuePoint. And the benefits for you is that you get to create additional income. This is obvious, but the nature of the income that you produce here is recurring income. Now, this is very important, because this is one of the most amazing benefits of this business. And some other businesses have this inherent to them. So some people refer to recurring income as passive income, all right? And that might still confuse you. So I refer to my father's terminology or description around recurring income. He says it's the ability to make money while you're sleeping. Did you know that was possible? I didn't know that was possible. Didn't know what Dad was talking about. He told me when I think I was in grade 8, standard 6. So I didn't know what he was talking about. But he said, boy, when you get bigger, you get into business that makes money while you're sleeping. Don't be like me. My father's a miner. He says, I've got to go find the gold in the mine every single day to make any money. Right? And I didn't listen to him, because the business I started was a service-related business, right? It was an agency. And we would have to work for every cent that we earned. And at the end of every month, we started at 0. And every month we had a target, and I'd have to meet the target. And I did that for 10 years before I realized, geez, like, this is not making money while you're sleeping. Then I started to think about it. How does one make money while they're sleeping? It's about creating value in an asset that pays out recurring income. That's how you make money while you're sleeping. It is something that's actually inherent to insurance companies. Insurance companies have this thing called the book value. A book value pays you out while you're sleeping, right? You know those debit orders that go off your account? That's other companies making money while they're sleeping, to a degree. And you get to enjoy that benefit in this business. Okay, so it's a wonderful benefit to grab with both hands. The second one is the power of duplication. We've built the system so that you can leverage your position. So what is that? Again, it is the ability to rid yourself of time constraint. So in this business, we're going to ask you to sacrifice time. And I know that we're all working. You might have families. You're busy. You don't have a lot of time. So what we've done is we've given you the ability to leverage your time by going to find other people to join you in your business and to collaborate with you, right? So for example, let's say you only have 1 hour a day to afford to DuePoint. But you go out and you find 20 like-minded individuals, right? 20 individuals that are going to work with you, collaborate with you. Now suddenly you've leveraged yourself 20 times. You now have 21 hours, if each person's putting in an hour, you now suddenly have 21 hours being invested into your business, right? That is leverage. That's power duplication. And I'll show it to you a little more closely when we look at channels of distribution. The business is flexi time. So this is the luxury of you deciding when you want to do the business, when you feel like doing the business, right? So it can fit into your schedule. You can do it on Saturday mornings, you can do it on Sunday mornings. You can do it, as one of our wealth engineers said, you can do it at funerals and you can do it at weddings. Is anyone confused by that? Don't worry, I'll explain a little later. But you get to decide how this business fits into your life, is what I'm saying. But on the other side of it, don't make the mistake of trying to treat this business like a hobby or a New Year's resolution. If you want to be successful in anything, you can't do it when you feel like it only. You have to keep yourself accountable to doing it constantly. You have to be persistent and always engaged in this business if you want to be successful in it, right? But you get to choose what that looks like. There's no startup capital in our business. We don't have registration fees. We don't have boxes of product that you have to invest in to get started in this business, so we make it as low risk as possible. Qualifications, experience don't matter. Did anyone bring their CVs with them this morning?
No.
Not even one person. No one's looking for a job. Good. We don't offer jobs here. We offer opportunity. Right? We don't care about experience and your qualifications. We've got successful wealth engineers in this business that have got no corporate experience. They don't have matric. They don't have degrees. Some do have degrees. Some do have corporate experience. Any background can work in this business. What we're interested in is work ethic. Work ethic. Are you willing to get engaged in this business and work at it? Right? So we make it as accessible as possible. Build an asset. So this is probably one of the most important benefits for me. This is the reason, I think. So if I had to be sitting in where you're sitting, I think this would be the reason that I would seriously consider this business. Because know that the channel of distribution that you build in this business is something that you have legal tender over. That means you have ownership over this thing you're building in our business, this channel of distribution. Right? This flies in the face of employment. So I assume most of us are employed. We are building up someone else's asset. And we will sacrifice a lifetime building someone else's asset. You will work for somebody else for 40 to 45 years. That's if you retire nicely. Otherwise, you're going to be looking for another job, and you might be one of those people working for 60 years. But you are building up someone else's asset. In this business, know that you're building up an asset that you own. Right? So that means you can sell this asset, this channel of distribution that you're building. You can sell it one day, you can move it into a family trust. It becomes part of your estate if you become deceased. It'll keep paying you once you're retired. It'll keep paying once you die. Right? So you are able to offer value. You can pass value on to your children, to your grandchildren. So I'm hoping that you will find it more easy to sacrifice time for this business, because know it's something that you're building that you have ownership over. There's no selling involved at DuePoint. So we contract you out of selling. So if you read your code of conduct, your contract with us, it says you're not allowed to sell. Isn't that a great thing? How many people love to sell? Anyone love to sell vitamins to their friends on weekends? Anyone? Right? It's not fun. I don't want to have to go spend my weekends trying to convince someone to buy something. So we contract you out of selling. You don't talk about our products. You don't sell our products. All you have to do is connect people to the DuePoint opportunity, the financial opportunity in our business, right? The nature of our products, because they're financial in nature, means we don't have the issues with tangible products, like milkshakes and vitamins. There's no boxes here that you have to go home with today. Did anyone bring a bucky with them today, saying, I'm going to smash this business, I'm bringing my uncle's bucky, I'm going to take back as much product as possible, and I'm going to sell everything this weekend before the stuff expires. Our products don't have expiry dates. And so we make our products as convenient as possible. But your success in our business is certainly dependent on your ability to build these channels of distribution. This is going to be your number one focus here at DuePoint, is building channels of distribution. So this is what it looks like. It begins with you. You become a wealth engineer, and you are going to go out, like us when I spoke about collaboration, you're going to go out and find like-minded individuals. You're going to connect people to this DuePoint opportunity. And I'm hoping you're going to go out and find, prospect people that are at your peer level, people that have the resources to thrive in this business, people that you imagine would do well in this business, not people that are just looking for a job, right? If you go out and you find these people, that is the beginning of your channel of distribution. So here in this example, we've got 5 people that you introduced. They became wealth engineers. They took out one of our products. That is the beginning of your channel of distribution. And this is where the leverage takes place, because the people that you introduce to the business are going to go out and do exactly the same thing as you. They are building their own channels of distribution. But in turn, what they're doing is they're assisting in building your channel of distribution. And this is where the power of duplication starts to happen, because over an amount of time, this is what your channel could look like, right? Based on your early efforts. You only brought 5 people into the business, but this is potentially what your channel could look like. You're getting paid for every single product owner that's on the screen, every single month. My hope is that you will go out and build a sustainable business. A sustainable business is one that is built on quality individuals that you can depend on. And if you build a sustainable business, you will be, so you want to feel or imagine what it feels like to be in this business, in a successful business. Picture yourself in 5 years' time. You're earning enough from DuePoint out of your channel of distribution that you can take a 3-month holiday. So you decide, oh, you're going to go somewhere where the beach is white and the water is warm. Go with your family for 3 months, and you don't have to worry about your income because you know DuePoint and the channel of distribution that you've built will be paying you every month while you're on holiday, while your toes are in the sand. Right? That's really the vision that we have for people in this business. This business is not like an employment, right? When do you get a 3-month holiday from the person you work for, the company you work for? It doesn't exist. My wife's a labor litigator for Anglo-American. She manages the biggest labor company in the country, right? Besides government. So the biggest private company is Anglo-American. They employed, I think, 160,000 people. Minimum holidays you get there, leave 15 days. 15 days a year. This business is about empowering you to a completely different life. Completely different life. So this is what a channel distribution looks like. But this is our warning slide, our disclaimer slide. So you might be wondering, well, why on earth do they have a picture of a ballerina on the picture of the disclaimer slide? Right? Because when we think about entrepreneurship, and Elon Musk actually summed this up. He said, when people think about entrepreneurship, they have these romantic notions of what being an entrepreneur is all about. Right? Anyone got successful entrepreneur friends? None of you. You need to start mixing with some better people. Right? You don't have any successful entrepreneur friends. The person that's got the nice car, they got a nice house, they got this and that. Yeah, exactly. And we look at them and think, oh, I wish I was an entrepreneur. It looks so great to be an entrepreneur. So we think entrepreneurship looks like this, the ballerina's foot, that when you go to the State Theatre, this is what you see. But to be a professional ballet dancer, which takes thousands, perhaps 10,000 hours of practice and training, that's what her foot actually looks like. That's what business actually looks like. Blood, sweat, and tears if you want to be successful. So don't come to what an entrepreneur opportunity like this and think, I'm going to be a millionaire by December. I'm so glad I found this opportunity. It's so easy. It isn't. To be successful in anything requires hard work, persistency, getting over the learning curve, the frustration. Right? If you can do all of that, then, and only then, can I say to you, success waits for you. And I'll show you what success looks like in this business. Okay? So this is our disclaimer slide. There are 2 ways to earn at DuePoint. One is through our returns program. Our returns program is the recurring income that you generate every single month. This is the primary focus here at DuePoint, is to create recurring income. The second way is through our rewards program. So the rewards program is a little bit of fun that we have. It's like an incentive program. So I'm going to show you the returns program first, how to create recurring income at DuePoint. We pay a base return fee of R27.50 for every product that ends up in your channel of distribution, right? So remember the first 5 individuals you introduced to DuePoint? That product lies on your first point because it's 1 point away from you. And on your first point, we actually pay you double the R27.50. And then those people go out and find other people. That lies on your second point. And on your second point, again, you earn R55 for every product every month. Onto your third point, you see the multiplier drops to 100%. You back down to R27.50. And then as your channel starts to grow and grow and grow, you see the multiplier drops to 4% at 0.8. But what's important to note, from 0.8 onwards, we keep paying you the 4% into infinity. We don't limit you on how big your channel can get at DuePoint. We don't limit you on how much money you can earn at DuePoint. We've had wealth engineers in this business for 22, 23 months. Their channels are sitting at 0.30. Right? You have the potential to earn as much as you want in this business. We don't limit you in any way or fashion in this business. The accountability will always lie with you. You want more? Grab it. So this is the mechanics of the returns. It's fairly straightforward. The next question we get is, well, how much money do people earn in this business? Right? If you got up to 30 points, how much money are you earning in this business? 2 years, what can people earn? So what we did was we built this projection over the next 5 years. So what it does is it illustrates the potential of your earnings for the next 60 months, for the next 5 years. We call it the path to success. It is based on a premise. So there is an assumption around a growth model that we have. So the assumption is that you can bring 3 people into the business in the first month, and then every consecutive month thereafter, you only have to bring in another 2. 2 every month. So in January, okay, we're right at the end of January, but let's say in January you bring 3 people into the business, and then in February you bring 2. March 2, April 2, May 2, June 2. You keep bringing 2 into perpetuity. If you can follow that growth formula, After 6 months in the business, doing 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, you'll be earning about 2,500 rand a month after 6 months. Hey, and you thought you got invited to a get-rich-quick scheme and he's only offering 2.5 after 6 months. Who's ready to walk out? You want more, right? Okay, so now I'm going to give everyone a little lesson in the value of money. Because we often make the mistake, and I make this mistake constantly, is we think like consumers. Do you know how a consumer thinks like? Consumer thinks like this. You give a consumer money, they think, what can I buy with this? How can I spend this money tomorrow? Oh, do I really have to wait till Black Friday before I can go spend all my money? Right? So my lesson is to give you the value of money from a different perspective. To give you the value of money from the perspective of someone who's trying to make money. Someone who's trying to build wealth instead of spend. Right? So here, after 6 months, you think, oh, you're only earning 2,500 rand. Here's an example of someone who's got R1 million debt. They owe R1 million, right? Does everyone have debt in the room? Pretty much everybody. No, we've got 1 or 2 that don't have debt. That's wonderful. You can start creating wealth immediately. The rest of us, we've got to pay our debt off first. But here's the example of a R1 million bond, right? So the person's found a house. They don't have the R1 million. They go to the bank gives them the money, and they agree to pay the bank back over 20 years. So they engage in a 20-year contract with the bank called a bond. And at prime plus 2 on R1 million, you're paying back 11,500 rand a month for 20 years. So I'm 40. I'm going to make my final installment when I'm 60. When I'm 60 will be the first time I'll make my last payment to the bank, and for the first time in my life, I'll be a homeowner. Right? That's how a bond works. You appreciate it. But this person, at the age of 40, he joins DuePoint, or she joins DuePoint, and 6 months later, she's earning this measly 2,500 rand. What can I do with 2,500 rand? Maybe buy 1 week's groceries. Is 2,500 rand life-changing? You don't think so? Let me show you something. You take that 2,500 rand, and instead of spending it, you listen to Uncle Rob, and you pay your debt off faster. You put the 2,500 rand as an additional payment into your bond. Right? So now instead of paying 11,500 to the bank every month, you're now paying 14,000 to the bank every month. Do you know what that does to your debt? You nearly halve the term of your bond. Instead of taking 20 years to pay that house off, you'll do it in 11 and a half years. I'll be 51 instead of 60 when I pay my house off. Do you know how much money that saves me in interest? In real hard currency, that will save me nearly R1 million in cash. And you thought 2,500 rand couldn't change your life. Who here is expecting to have R1 million saved by the time they get to retirement? See, the debt-free person. Right? That has just saved you R1 million. 6 months later, at the 12-month mark, you're earning in excess of 100,000 rand in annual recurring income. Right? 9,000 times 12 is 108,000 rand a year. Who would like a 100,000 rand check on the 1st of January every year? Every year. I say to you, you come work for me for 12 months. Right? You bring me 2 people a month. And every year I'll give you a 100,000 rand check on the 1st of January. Would you do it? You all lied to my face. We keep going. Because it's only going to get bigger at 24 months. We are building an asset. We are not starting from zero every month. This is the difference between earning active income and passive income. We are building an asset that increases. At month 24, we're earning nearly 30,000 rand a month. Would you like a 360,000 rand check every year? That is life-changing now, right? Now you can see, even in spending terms, I can pay off almost all my cost of living items every month with the extra 30,000 rand a month. We keep going. After 36 months, you had nearly 50,000 rand a month. You want to look at the bond example of debt? Here's someone with a 5 million rand debt, 5 million rand house that they've got. At month 30, they're earning about 36,000 rand a month. Again, you're faced with a decision, right? I'll tell you what my decision is. If I suddenly started pocketing an extra 36,000 rand, you better believe I'll be at the Porsche Center down the road here looking for a new car. the decision always, do I spend the money or do I create value? Do I create wealth? Do I spend it or do I create wealth? I can buy a 2 million rand Porsche, 911 Targa GTS. Red interior, that metallic grey on the outside. You can take the roof off. 2 million rand car. You can finance a 2 million rand car with 36,000 rand a month. Or I can decide to try create wealth. So how do I do that? Well, you've got to pay your debt off first. Okay, I've got a 5 million rand house. I pay my 5 million rand house off in less than 7 years with that extra 36,000 rand. At the age of 47, I can pay my house off. Right? Still driving the old car. Can't afford the Porsche as well. But I pay the house off at 47. I decide to buy more property, right? Decide to invest in property. I buy a second house and pay that off at the age of 54. I buy a third house and pay that off at the age of 61. Now when I'm ready to retire, I live in my 5 million rand house. I've got 2 other properties that I'm renting out for 60, 70,000 rand a month. Plus what DuePoint's paying me. Now I'm retired, so I'm not even going to work anymore. But I'm earning in passive income. What am I earning? 70 plus what DuePoint's paying me. Over 100,000 rand a month, and I'm sitting at home doing nothing. Or I could have bought the Porsche, realized that it devalues by 50% after 5 years, that I've just lost 1 million rand on the car. Right? Do you see the decisions we face with constantly? Do we think like consumers, or do we think like someone trying to create wealth? Right? It's a decision we make every single day of our lives. At month 48, you're earning nearly 70,000 rand a month. At 60 months, right? This was a 5-year projection. In 5 years' time, you could be earning about 1 million rand a year in recurring income. Imagine coming home every Christmas with a 1 million rand check. Your spouse would love you twice as much as they love you today. Twice as much. Easily, right? I know my wife would. But this is all academic. This is theory. This is the accountants coming up with this projection based on 3 plus 2, bringing 2 people every month into our business. You can do a lot worse than this. You can join the business. Anyone can join the business. And you can do 0 plus 0. Right? We do. I call them the 0 plus 0 club. The people that get excited by the prospect of what this business offers. And then they don't do anything. I don't understand. Right? So I call that the 0 plus 0 club. But you can do more than 3 plus 2. So if you're not happy with 2,500 rand a month after 6 months, guess who decides that they want more? You decide that. I don't decide it for you. You're not going to get a phone call from me at 6 o'clock in the morning and go, right, what are you doing today? Right? You make that decision. Right? And we've got wealth engineers that have shown great persistency in this business and perhaps early success in the business, right? So here we've got Mike and Vilna. They've been tracking less than 3 plus 2. They've been in the business for nearly 2 years. Remember the 2-year mark, you should be close to 30,000 rand a month. They're at the 10,000 rand mark after 2 years. Don't you think they should have just given up? Why are they still around? Surely their time's more valuable than earning 10,000 rand a month after 2 years. Don't you think? Let me illustrate the value of money to you again, because this is a question you're going to ask yourself when you get to retirement. You're going to look at your investment that you've made over the last 40 years. You're going to say, how much money have I saved? Because that amount of money, that investment you created, your retirement fund, your pension fund, is going to pay you out in interest. And that's what you have to live on once you retire. So you're going to ask yourself the question, how much do I have there? And how much is it going to pay me out every month? So in this case, they're being paid out 10,000 rand a month. Do you know how much money you need to have in an investment in your bank account to get 10,000 rands worth of interest a month? No one know? This is a big question. You need to figure this one out, because your retirement depends on this question. You need 2 million rand, about 2 million rand sitting in an investment of your money, and that will pay you out 10,000 rand a month. They created it in the space of 24 months. Do you think they should give it up? No. Right? So why do we give up when we think 2,500 rand's not worth our time after 6 months? How much money do you need to have in the bank to afford yourself 2,500 rand a month? You need 500,000 rand of cash sitting in the bank. Who's got 500,000 rand sitting in the bank? Don't put your hand up again, lady. I'm getting tired of your success. right? You understand the value of money. We can't keep thinking of money in terms of spending value. Here's Spongile from Tembisa. Lovely old lady. You can go watch all these video testimonies. We recorded all their video interviews. It's on YouTube. Go listen to their experience and their stories. This is the lady that says, I find people at funerals and weddings. Right? Nothing stops her. She is so determined. She joined in February, so she's been here for nearly a year, in excess of 10,000. She's doing more than 3 plus 2. Rena and Malcolm are nearly 30,000 Rand a month. Right? So Rena also joined right in the beginning of the business. Extremely experienced networker. She's been involved in network, she says, pretty much since she got out of school. So that's been like, I don't know, 20, 30 years, 40 years, who knows how long. She reckons she's been part of over 100 network marketing businesses. And she gave it up. When we launched the business, she gave it up. We invited her to the business, to our launch, and she was not interested. She said she's had it up to here with these businesses. But her income started growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. And she realized that DuePoint delivers on everything that we say. And now for the first time, only 2 years later, she'll admit it. She said, only in December did I decide now that I have faith in DuePoint and I'm going to go for it now. Right? So you'll see her. She came on our Rank 9 trip. I'm going to show you the Rank 9 trip later. We've got thousands of individuals, wealth engineers, engaging in this business on a monthly basis, creating additional streams of income for themselves. They are, even in small ways, empowering themselves beyond what employment offers. Employment, unfortunately, in our country has got a massive risk attached to it. So run your own race. Decide how much recurring income you want out of the business, because that's your decision that you make, and decide how to get there. Run your own race. It's easy to look at other people and say, I want what they have, but run your own race, right? We are all different people, got all different situations at home, different time that we can afford to the business, but this business can cater to all of us. So this is our returns program. This is your ability to make recurring income. The second way to earn is through our XP Rewards program. So the XP Rewards program works like this. You become a wealth engineer and you start engaging in typical wealth engineer behavior, which is like coming to presentations, bringing guests with you, doing home presentations, watching our training, coming to development seminars, logging into the website, all kinds of things. When you do these things, we give you something called experience points, or XP. And when you start collecting more of these experience points, more XP, and your business grows, you get rewarded along the way, right? So if you become a wealth engineer this morning, you will start out as a rank 0 wealth engineer. Can you see you're not even on the slide? Right? You're still part of the 0 plus 0 club. But to get to rank 1, all you need is 1,000 XP, which you can do in 5 minutes. You need 4 products in your qualified channel. And if you meet those 2 criteria, suddenly you become a rank 1 wealth engineer, and we reward you with 55 Rand at the end of that month. Once off. You don't see another 55 Rand again. Right? So you can go buy yourself some cake and celebrate being rank 1. That's all you can do. But that's important, because you might again turn your nose up at that 55 Rand. But what you've proved to yourself is that you can get to any rank. Because if you can get to rank 1, you can get to rank 20. Because the person at rank 20 is doing exactly the same thing as the person at rank 1 every day. They are just speaking to people. Nothing changes. Right? And as you start to rank up, the 55 Rand gets bigger. There's a 20,000 Rand check waiting for you. A 50,000 Rand check. We give tools to our wealth engineers that help them build their channels more effectively. Here's Patrick and Pumi at rank 5. We give all our rank 5s this little lightning USB stick, which plugs into anything. So the beauty of that device is it plugs into cell phones, tablets, laptops, computers, TVs, computers, and it's got all our video collateral on that stick. So Patrick and Pumi can show people the DuePoint opportunity regardless of what device we have around them, or they have around them. At rank 7, we get these premium luxury business cards manufactured. They cost us 12,500 Rand a set. You get 1,000 cards. They are 4 times thicker than a normal business card. They're printed on a recycled black paper that feels like suede, and the edges and the logo is gilded in gold. There's no ink on this business card. So go take a look at them. They look like little blocks of gold bullion sitting in the merchandise cabinet there. Why would we spend so much money on business cards? Anyone got 12,500 Rand business cards? I've never seen 12,500 Rand business cards. I've been in marketing and advertising for 20 years. But let me tell you what this serves to do. When you go speak to someone about a business called DuePoint and they've never heard of DuePoint before, your credibility is still on the floor. That's where your credibility is, right? They don't know who DuePoint is. We've got no brand value yet. When you put a 12,500 Rand business card in their hands, one that's perhaps 50 times more expensive than the business card they've got in their wallets, I promise you, your credibility suddenly goes up. Suddenly that person wants to know what DuePoint's all about and how do you get business cards like that. Right? These are tools to help you be more effective in building your channels of distribution. At rank 9, this is the first recurring reward. So what happens at rank 9? We take you and your family to our international conference. It's 7 days away to a 5-star luxury resort. All expenses paid. We fly business class with the whole family. And this doesn't happen once off. It happens every single year. Our rank 9s and above enjoy this week every single year for the rest of their lives. You'll never fly economy again. Anyone enjoy economy? I'm looking for anyone at 5 foot or so. So-so, where's So-so? She's not in the room. She left the room. Right? I'm not built for economy. Can you see? You're not built for economy either. We can only fly business class if we want to be comfortable. Business class every single year. So take a look. We documented our rank 9 trip this last December. See if you'd like to join us. Thank you.
All of your wind has gone, and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sand where no one can see. You stand on at the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
That's it, every year, every single year. So that was our first one that we had this December. Half the rank 9s got to rank 9 in less than 1 year. So it took them less than 12 months to get to rank 9. Right? We had one gentleman get to rank 9 in less than 6 months. So you guys have got 10 months until 2018's international conference. 10 months. What are you going to do over the next 10 months? And if you don't make it, guess what? We don't have a limitation. There's no time limit on getting to rank 9. If you don't make this year, you get to go next year. If you don't make next year, you get to go the year after. No time limit. You don't get to start at 0 in this business ever. You're here to build an asset and keep building on it, right? That's where the persistency comes in. At rank 11, we spend R250,000 and buy our wealth engineers a brand new car. No T's and C's, no hoops to jump through. We buy the car cash, in your name, give it to you, you drive it away. Done. We don't ask for the car back in 6 months. We don't check your performance and say, oh, you need to bring the car back. The car is yours. It's done. Rank 11. This is what our rewards program looks like. This is at rank 11. The program is designed up to rank 28. So what happens at rank 28? See, everyone's imagination running wild. Running wild. Can you start at rank 1? Can you get excited about 55 Rand? 55 Rand to buy yourself a slice of cake. That's where it begins. If you can get to rank 1, you can get to any rank in this business. The activity remains the same. There's a third way to benefit as a wealth engineer. This is what we call wealth quests. So wealth quest is something that we do every month. It is a challenge that we issue to our wealth engineers on a monthly basis. So they're different every month. They run from the first day to the last day of the month. January's is called Hit 2018 Sprinting. Ladies. Hit January Sprinting, right? Hit 2018 Sprinting. So it's January's wealth quest. We challenge you to bring 20 people into this business in the month of January. And if you can do that, I know we don't have much time left, but there will be a new wealth quest on the 1st of February. But if you can do that in the month of January, and we've got some wealth engineers that are certainly going for it, if you can do that, we'll give you an extra 10,000 Rand at the end of the month. So you'll have an extra 10,000 Rand. Your recurring income will now be 1,100 Rand a month at least, and you'll be on your way to rank 3 already. And that's in the space of just a single month, right? So go for it. We get asked the question, well, how does DuePoint afford this? How does our business model work? So to give you an idea of how our business model works, traditional insurance companies spend a lot of money on marketing and advertising, right? So my agency, we did a lot of work for insurance companies. They spend an absolute fortune on marketing and advertising because it's the only way that they bring new clients in, right? At DuePoint, we don't spend a cent on marketing and advertising. We depend on you guys, on our wealth engineers, to go tell people about DuePoint. And so we don't need to spend the billions that the insurance industry spends every year on advertising. We can take that portion of our budget and attribute it to the returns and rewards program to the benefit of our wealth engineers. And that's basically how our business model works. We've got 3 products here at DuePoint. So you are free to consider taking out one product or all 3 products. It's up to you. We start with our first product called Access Wealth. It's called the Access Wealth Plan. It is our investment product. So this is an investment product. It's 299 Rand a month, and 100 Rand of which will go into a tax-free investment fund in your name, right? And it requires no notice on this investment. So that means you can draw that investment out at any stage. You don't have to give us 30 days notice or 60 days notice. It takes about 72 hours to process, but that's the investment that you create on a monthly basis. And then on top of that, we give you a little bit of insurance to the value of 110,000 Rands worth of personal accident cover. So this is our investment product, right? Tax-free investment fund, $299 a month. The second product is called Wealth Guard. It is 274 Rand a month, and this product is strictly insurance. So this is only insurance. There's no investment portion. It's only insurance, 274 Rand a month, but this time you get 1.1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. So note that I'm saying personal accident cover. It's not life insurance. It's not funeral cover. It doesn't cover you in the event of death through illness or natural causes. It covers you in the event of death through accident, right? So why would we do that? What is the beauty of that? The beauty of that is that we can offer this product to anybody. Anybody. It doesn't matter what age you are, as long as you're over the age of 18. You can be 70 years of age. You can be diabetic. You can have cancer, and you can still take out this product, and the premium remains the same, and the cover that you receive remains the same. Because we don't profile you from a health risk point of view. Has anyone here over the age of 60 tried to get life insurance? It's almost impossible, right? The premium is too high. So the beauty of this product is that it becomes accessible to everybody because there's no health risk profiling done. The third product is called Wealth Points. So Wealth Points aims to save you money on the money that you're spending every month anyway. So if you look at the list of partners that we have there, I bet you spend money at least one of those partners, right? So for 274 Rand a month, you get to enjoy the discounts that we've negotiated with these companies. So for example, we've got always on Wi-Fi data. If you go out to Always On, you say you want to buy 1 gig of data from them, they'll typically charge you 100 Rand per gig. But we've negotiated them down to 37 Rand. Right? So people on Wealth Points get a gig of data for 37 Rand instead of 100 Rand. So the discounts are different with all the partners. Every single one is different, right? You've got to go to the website, go take a look at the website of what the different discounts are. But we are adding partners to this program all the time. If you're looking for immediate benefit, it's a great product to have. So if you have any questions around the products, come speak to me. At the same time, if you want even more information around the products, we've got a very in-depth review on each of the products on YouTube that we did last weekend, right? So go take a look at that if you want lots of information. All right, so what is the decision? For me, I like to sum it up very simply. Are you willing to partake in the downside of entrepreneurship to enjoy the upside? Isn't that a simple proposition? What's the downside of entrepreneurship? Talking to someone every day. Thinking about DuePoint every day. Doing it when you don't feel like it. Having to deal with people. This is a people business, right? People can let you down in so many ways. Are you willing to put up with that? Because what do we have on offer? Well, we've got recurring income on offer. Do you want to be one of the people earning an extra 30,000 Rand a month? Do you want to be one of those people going on a business class flight to a 5-star resort every single year with your family? Every single year. Do you want to have a car that you're driving around that isn't paid by you? And that's just at rank 11. Do you want to be one of the people that get to rank 20, 21, 22, 23, 28? Be one of the people that retire without a worry in the world. Be one of the people where your children, your grandkids say, Granddad or Grandma, Gogo or Baba was the one that created all the wealth for us. The first person in our family that broke the debt cycle. That's on offer. That's on offer. That's the decision. It's a straightforward decision. Joining is extremely simple. Read our code of conduct. It defines what you can and cannot do as wealth engineers. Then register as a wealth engineer. You can do this online. Very simply. It takes about 7 minutes to complete the application. Right? And then apply yourself to this channel, to building channels of distribution, to your business. Apply yourself. Education. We've got 7 hours of videos. So 7 videos, 1 hour each, that form part of what we call our basic series. It basically tells you how to build a channel of distribution, what this business is all about. That's as much education that you need to invest in this business. Right? Not 5 years of a degree and then hoping to find a job afterwards. 7 hours. Set goals for yourselves. Probably one of the most underestimated tasks in life is setting goals. People think setting goals is dreaming about something at night before you go to bed that you want. Right? That's not setting goals. Setting goals is something that you write in your diary. You put a stick in the sand and you say, that's where I want to be. That's where I want to get to. That's what I want at this time. A goal has to have a time. Set goals for yourself. I want to be ranked 9 in 2 years. I want to be ranked 9 in 1 year. And then strategize to get there. Prepare a plan. All our training is focused around the plan to get you there, right? So we assist you in that. And then the simple activity of just speaking to people. It's not a complicated business. You only have to go out and speak to people. That's all you have to do. You're not selling, you're just connecting them to me. I will do all the work for you. See that camera over there? It's being broadcast into the entire country. There are people sitting in bed, people at the office, people on their cell phones, people at McDonald's. Where else do you get free Wi-Fi? Mug and Bean, right? People watching us. People increasing their businesses nationally because of this technology. Let me do the work. You just go out and speak to people. Tell them this opportunity exists. We've got merchandise, so please consider business cards. For me, it's foremost. It is one of those business tools that we will never really get away from, right? Technologies try to replace business cards, never worked. Get business cards. It increases your credibility when you're proposing an opportunity to somebody. USB sticks, we've got a lot of video on our USB sticks, so if you're data shy, if you don't want to spend too much data, get the USB sticks. All our videos are on there. And then those pins are very important. See those little pins in the top left corner? Those represent people that are at rank 1 or above. It represents people that are earning money in our business. Right? So if you go ask advice from anybody in our business, you make sure they got a pin on their lapel. If they don't have a pin on their lapel, they're part of the 0+0 club. You don't want advice from those people, right? So when you get to rank 1, you get that pin and you wear it with pride, right? It shows people that you know what you're doing. You're one of the people that are earning money. You're at rank 1. You're on your way to rank 28. The rest of the merchandise, power banks, very important. You don't want your cell phone to die ever. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just a wealth of knowledge waiting for you on the YouTube channel. We've got about 500 videos on the YouTube channel that we generate in the space of 2 years. Right? It's all neatly categorized, so you don't have to feel overwhelmed. But subscribe to it. It'll tell you every time we start a live stream, every time we load up a new video. Download our mobile app. This is your primary tool of business, is your smartphone. And that mobile app that runs on your smartphone will tell you in real time whether you are making money while you're sleeping. That's what we want to do, right? When you wake up in the morning, it'll tell you, well done, you earned more money last night while you were sleeping. So download the mobile app, update your profile photo. We give you 1,000 XP the moment you take a selfie on our app. How much XP do you need for rank 1? There you go. One selfie away, right? No duck lips and no sunglasses. You know how these kids are taking selfies now on Facebook. Right? It's a business photo. There you go. 1,000 XP, one smile away. Some don'ts that I need to highlight for you so you don't make any mistakes, because I know you're not going to read your code of conduct. So, to become a wealth engineer, this business is targeted to people that have the resources to thrive in our business. The business is not designed for everybody, right? We've got 10 million unemployed people. The business is not targeted at the 10 million unemployed people. Not a charity business, unfortunately. We've targeted people that we think will thrive in this business. And to thrive in this business, you need a certain amount of resources, right? So if you cannot afford one of our products, you're going to struggle in our business. We are not designed to burden the burdened, right? We're here to empower a certain section of people. If you don't have access to the internet, or you don't have a smartphone, or you don't know how to use the internet, or you can't afford data, you're going to struggle in this business. If you don't have access to transport, right? This is probably the least important one, but it's still important because this is still a face-to-face relationship business. It's not something that happens on Facebook. This business happens face-to-face typically, or on the phone. So if you struggle with transport, you're going to struggle in this business. Be aware of this when you go out and find people to add into your business, right? Don't ever complete a DuePoint application form on behalf of somebody else. This is illegal. It's fraudulent, bottom line. The person that is becoming a wealth engineer and applying has to go through the application form themselves. They've got to tick the check boxes themselves. I agree to the code of conduct. I agree to having my account debited, right? You can't do it for them later. I see this as a problem when you get people trying to prospect people that don't know how to use the internet or they don't have access to anything. Say, no, Mama, just write everything here. I'll do your application form tonight for you, right? That's fraudulent. So don't do that, please. You can't add direct family members that live with you into your channel. This is the number one question I get. I don't know why people are so worried about this. I can't get my family in. I promise you, your family's not even going to do anything, right? Family hardly ever do anything, so don't worry about it. But if you've got family members, they can't be in your channel. They can be wealth engineers next to you, but not in your channel, right? If they don't live with you, they can be in your channel. Don't start your own DuePoint Facebook page. Don't start your own Facebook page. Please, I beg you, please. Don't start your own Facebook page. It doesn't work and it's illegal. So you're breaking FSB regulation. You're not allowed to publicize, advertise, market DuePoint. Our products, our subsidiaries, our third parties, you're not allowed to do any of that on social media. And we can find you immediately. We've got a company that's contracted to search the internet for people doing it. We suspend you immediately. And then you've got to find us to be unsuspended. You've got to prove to us that you've taken all your social media posts down. So it's a huge rigmarole. Just don't do it to begin with. Don't send leads or prospects to DuePoint unattended. So this point actually speaks to the responsibility that each of us have when we're dealing with prospective wealth engineers. When you go out and find other people, you have to treat them professionally, right? With dignity, always. We find the problem is when people arrive here at our head office, they come in, they say, I met Bob on Facebook, and he said, I must just come to head office and Rob or Brendan will take care of me. Right? That's what we get told. You're not showing any professionalism in that relationship that you're trying to build for your benefit. Treat everyone professionally in the business. I remind you, on the 10th of February, we've got our inaugural awards evening. We call it Converge. It's by invitation only. It's for rank 4s and up only. Right? So it's a very exclusive awards event. If you are close to rank 4, I hope you are working like hell in the last week of January to get to rank 4 so that you get your invitation to our Converge evening. And that's it, guys. I thank you for your time this morning, and I remind you, there's only one person in your life that can design the destiny, the future that they want. Only one person. You can blame everybody else until the cows come home. You can moan about the economy, moan about the politicians, moan about this, moan about that. One single person that can make a difference in their lives. It's the person that gets to decide what they're thinking about and doing each day the moment they wake up. And I invite you to use DuePoint as a vehicle to whatever you want in this life. Who is coming to rank 9 in December this year? You've got 10 months. 10 months. You're going to be sitting down in that business class seat. Your toes aren't going to be able to touch the chair in front of you. The air hostess is going to say, do you want orange juice or champagne? Right? So good luck. I hope you make the best of 2018. If you have any questions, come speak to me. Thank you for your time. Have a great weekend. Thanks.